mailbox is visible in that video, so he starts running in this direction.
Okay.
The video phone is then set down, and there's a time that lapses. Then when the phone is picked back up, you see a mailbox on down Holmes Road immediately visible, and then shortly thereafter you see this blue mailbox again, and that's where you see Mr. Arbery.
Okay. I will not touch this. Promise. So, what you were referring to a moment ago was that Mr. Arbery turns around somewhere in here between the blue mailbox and this telephone pole in this area?
Probably around in there, yes, sir.
Okay.
So the blue mailbox is just it's a visual indicator easily to see in the video.
Right. And then he's running back.
Yes, sir.
Now, just to clarify, you see this chain link fence here running from this red posted mailbox backwards?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. That's not the end of the road. That's just the end, that's the property line for that particular residence, am I right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Because this road keeps going on well beyond.
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. Ms. Burton, can we shift over to the drone recreation of Mr. Bryan's path of travel on Holmes Road?
It would be finished. Right here. Sorry, I'm having trouble looking for this direction.
This is, I'm sorry. Do you want me to explain what this is?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is Mr. Bryan as he has made the 3-point turn, traveling back down Holmes Road, going back towards the intersection of Satilla Drive. The mailbox you see on the left is visible in his video when the phone is picked back up.
Stop. Stop. Okay.
And you'll see that mailbox to your left, and the blue mailbox is in the far distance on that curve right there. It's kind of hard to see from this far back.
Oh, I'm confused. Where was the blue mailbox?
It's on up ahead.
It's on up ahead. Okay, all right. So this is a pretty long street then.
No, sir, I wouldn't say it was long. It's the drone is moving at a very slow rate of speed at this particular moment.
Does it vary in speed?
It does, yes, sir.
All right, so and that variance in speed isn't a recreation of the path, of the speed at which the participants are traveling. It's just
It's the operator.
it's drone stuff.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And there's the blue mailbox, as you can see right there.
All right. Keep playing it. And at some point, your drone video turns around?
It's going to go up towards the intersection, past the blue mailbox, towards the intersection.
Okay, I'm confused. We're now heading back down towards the scene of the shooting itself?
Yes, sir. The scene of the shooting is going to be up ahead. You see where that stop sign's at? It's a little bit before that. You'll see the Alcott's driveway on the left, and again you'll see the mailbox there and the extended pavement.
I approach with you?
Yes.
Sir, I'm showing you what's marked and admitted, I believe, as State's Exhibit 300. I think the legend says it's showing the path of travel of everybody.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right. Can we stop and go to the projector?
Camera.
Thanks.
I think you can maximize that.
Right. It's upside down. All right. Because I was somewhat confused by the last video. The yellow path is Mr. Arbery's path of travel?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And we saw earlier on the drone for Mr. Arbery's path of travel that there's a blue mailbox here,
Yes, sir, approximately.
and somewhere in front of that, between the mailbox and that telephone pole, Mr. Arbery turns around and comes back south.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. And I wasn't clear from the drone video that you had, but it looks like from this diagram, and this diagram you prepared or helped prepare?
I help prepare, yes, sir.
Okay. And it reflects your understanding of Mr. Bryan's path of travel, right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay. So you've got Mr. Bryan come in. Did he pass Holmes?
Yes, sir, he did,
Okay.
according to his statement.
So he passes Holmes and then he has to back up, am I correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
But at the time why is he backing up at this point?
Because he is still pursuing Mr. Arbery.
And Mr. Arbery, well, at this point, Mr. Arbery technically is following, I won't say chase, but he's following Mr. Bryan's vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
Until he turns up Holmes.
No, sir. According to Mr. Bryan's statement, he overshoots where Mr. Arbery is. Mr. Arbery turns right down Holmes. Mr. Bryan then backs his vehicle up and pursues him down Holmes.
Right, and that's because on this road, Mr. Bryan is well ahead of Mr. Arbery at this point.
Because Mr. Arbery turned to the right unexpectedly down Holmes Road, is my
Right,
understanding.
but Mr. Bryan is trying to stay ahead after his testimony, right, to Agent Sechrist, do I have that correct?
Yeah, Agent Sechrist, yes.
Is that Mr. Arbery attempted to get in his truck? You recall that part of the statement?
I recall that as being part of his statement. His indication was that.
Well, I'm not asking you to comment on the truth of another or credibility of another witness.
Okay.
That was what was said, was it not?
During the interview.
Objection. Number one, the witness needs to be able to finish a sentence, and number two, arguing with the witness.
Your Honor, it's neither arguing nor the witness nor improperly interrupting to prevent a witness from going into a matter that they can't testify to.
I understand, you're just directing the witness on your question. Go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Bryan has indicated in his last statement, the one to Agent Sechrist, that Mr. Arbery, to him, appeared to be trying to get in his truck.
I believe that was his statement to Agent Sechrist in his last statement, yes, sir.
And there's been all kinds of GBI work on fingerprints and other stuff in this case.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Okay. At this point, Mr. Bryan says that he pulls well ahead of Mr. Arbery, quote unquote, the fastest he's traveled.
Yes, he said he pulls ahead. Mr. Arbery turns to the right down Holmes Road, and then Mr. Bryan decides to pursue him down Holmes Road. That is correct, yes, sir.
So you agree then that technically Mr. Arbery is behind Mr. Bryan but moving towards him.
That's not my understanding of what it's saying. He shoots forward, Mr. Arbery, and does not go in the direction of Mr. Bryan. He turns right down Holmes Road, proceeds down Holmes Road. It's Mr. Bryan that backs his vehicle up and then pursues Mr. Arbery down Holmes Road.
Because Mr. Arbery has passed Mr. Albenzi with his cell phone and his gun up here 220 Satilla minutes before.
He's passed him with his cell phone. Yes, sir. He's up. All right. Mr. Arbery comes out of the house under construction. Mr. Albenzi is across the street, if that's what you're saying, yes.
Yes,
I'm
with
sorry.
his cell phone and his handgun.
He had his cell phone, yes, sir, and I believe he was in possession of a handgun.
But Mr. Bryan doesn't, so far as his statement to Agent Sechrist is concerned, Mr. Bryan has no idea that Mr. Albenzi is out here, does he?
That's correct. I don't remember him mentioning anything about Mr. Albenzi being out there.
So Mr. Bryan then is surprised when Mr. Arbery, instead of proceeding towards the exit of Satilla Shores, turns up Holmes instead.
Okay. I think my understanding of what occurred is different than what you're asking, Counselor.
And I want to find out what
Okay.
you're saying.
My understanding is when Mr. Bryan pulled his truck ahead, Mr. Arbery did not pursue Mr. Bryan on Satilla Drive. He turned right because Mr. Bryan was in front of him at that point.
So Mr. Bryan's in front and Mr. Arbery turns up Holmes.
Yes, away from Mr. Bryan. And then Mr. Bryan backs up and pursues again Mr. Arbery.
So when Mr. Bryan is backing up here, consistent with your diagram, when he's backing up, he's not backing up at Mr. Arbery because Mr. Arbery's already turned up here.
That's correct, sir. He's backing up trying to get to him.
Okay, all right. And you've already indicated that the previous drone of Mr. Arbery has him turning back just north of the blue mailbox.
That's correct. That's the video that's depicted in Mr. Bryan's cell phone video.
And we know that location because you see Mr. Arbery turn around
That's correct, yes, sir.
and come back at Mr. Bryan's vehicle.
Come back in that direction, yes, sir.
Okay, not trying to figure out what's in Mr. Arbery's mind, right? But he's coming back towards Mr. Bryan's truck.
Yes, sir. He gets around that curve, changes direction, or appears to be, and come back towards Mr. Bryan's truck, yes, sir.
Right. And then we hear the sound of, I won't even say a truck, a motor vehicle
A motor vehicle passes, yes.
passing Mr. Bryan. And in this video, because I don't want to switch back again, back and forth. I don't want to tempt fate here. But in this video, you can tell how fast Mr. Bryan is traveling when Mr. Arbery turns around, can't you?
There is a flash of the speedometer at least one point in the video, if that's what you're referring to.
Yes, sir.
But and the video though does not focus on the speedometer the entire time. So at that one moment of time, yes, we can tell how fast the truck is going, but the engine of the truck is revving up and down throughout, so I cannot make an accurate prediction as far as the speed of Mr. Bryan.
Well, I know we've got, I lost count, was it 300, 400, or 1,000 still images from the end of this encounter?
You talking about the breakdown of the video? Is that correct?
From the tragic loss of life at the end of the video. That's been broken down into 1,000 frames?
Yes, sir.
How many frames did you break down the part of the video where Mr. Arbery is coming back at Mr. Bryan?
The entire video was broken down, sir, into individual stills.
Okay.
So
okay.
if that's your question.
There's at least one still in there where you can see the speedometer in Mr. Bryan's vehicle shows that he's traveling behind Mr. Arbery at 2 to 3 miles an hour.
I believe there is one picture of one instance where you're looking at speedometer, and this is after Mr. Bryan has turned his vehicle around, makes a statement that he's going back after, and we'll continue on, and then he begins driving, and you see the speedometer. At that point, he is going, I would say, 3 to 5 miles an hour.
So you're telling the jury you can't see the speedometer before Mr. Arbery turns, showing that Mr. Bryan is following him, not chasing him at 2 to 3 miles an hour?
I don't recall that. I recall what I see the speedometer is after Mr. Bryan turns around and goes back towards the intersection of Holmes Road and Satilla Drive.
And in the video, and I don't want to switch videos here, you see a lot of frantic movement on the steering wheel, don't you?
Yes, sir, you do.
But Can you tell whether Mr. Bryan's vehicle is actually moving?
During which part? You'd have to pick it out a specific part for me, Counselor.
When you see Mr. Arbery turn around and come back towards his vehicle, okay,
Yes, sir.
you then lose sight of Mr. Arbery, am I correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And you see hands moving back and forth on a steering wheel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But it's not clear that the vehicle's actually moving, is it?
There are parts of the vehicle in the video where it appears the vehicle is stationary, especially when he does the three-point turn. It does, to me, sound like the engine is revved up at a large part of the video. Your part you're talking about right after the thing is sit down, yes, sir, it does sound like to me that the vehicle is in motion, if that's your question.
Okay. And there's, in fact, a point on the video where you can see the brake, the gas pedal has no foot on it.
I'd have to go back and look at that, sir.
Would that be consistent with Mr. Bryan's foot being on the brake pedal at that time?
It could be, yes, sir. I would, if you see his foot on the brake pedal, it could be, but I don't recall the part of the video you're referring to.
Now, I'm somewhat curious because I thought a moment ago you were suggesting that Mr. Bryan said that I'm going to go on. You
Yes,
recall
sir.
saying that?
Yes, sir.
And did I hear you tell the jury then that Mr. Bryan turned around, changed direction to go back after Mr. Arbery?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay, well, if Mr. Bryan is turning around here to go after Mr. Arbery, then how does he get way down here?
That conversation is made when he's down there, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir. When he makes that statement. He has already done the three-point turn. You hear him make the statement, then you hear gravel on the vehicles as he's pulling back onto the road. But that statement's made, to my understanding of the video, compared to his statement, at that point where he actually does the three-point turn and makes the left going back towards the intersection of Holmes Road and Steele Drive.
So this is the three-point turn where we hear the gravel.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. But Mr. Arbery never gets anywhere near that point.
That's not that I can see. That's correct, sir.
I mean, as far as we can piece together, right?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you were telling the jury that Mr. Bryan turned around when he said he was going to continue on, when Mr. Bryan said he was continuing on, he had to be going the opposite direction from Mr. Bryan.
I'm sorry. You're going to have to rephrase that, Counselor. You lost me in there in that question.
The truth is that when Mr. Bryan says on the video, I'm going to keep going, Mr. Bryan is going away from Mr. Arbery and away from the McMichael defendants.
No, sir, that's not correct. He turns back towards where he has seen where Mr. Arbery has been running and where the McMichaels have passed in the vehicle. He goes back in that direction.
Now, you would agree with me, would you not, that although it's the long way, this is a path for Mr. Bryan to return to his home.
Going back to Zalewood and coming around, yes, sir.
It's the long way, right?
Yes, sir.
It's not easy turning into the driveway because of the bushes there at the corner, is it?
I've never tried to turn into the bushes from that direction, so I wouldn't know.
But he could go home that way.
Yes, sir, he could.
But going home this way is the shorter way.
Yes, sir, as far as distance-wise.
And it's the easier way.
Certainly the shorter way.
Okay. And when Mr. Bryan comes back down, he gets the video on, am I correct?
The video's playing throughout the time he's making the three-point turn. He picks the video back up. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Well, there's no reason for him, there would be no reason for Mr. Bryan to pick the phone up and video him driving back home, would there? That wouldn't make any sense.
I don't know. No, sir, I guess not. I don't know why he would videotape himself going back home. That's for some reason I don't know about.
Unless it's a holiday, do you videotape yourself going back home?
No, sir, not normally.
Okay. So the fact that Mr. Bryan is leaving the cell phone on the seat or on his lap or wherever would be consistent with him going home when he says he's going to keep going.
Objection calls for speculation.
I don't say, the question was consistent. That's not speculation. That's
Restate your question.
So Mr. Bryan leaving his cell phone in his lap or on the seat and not trying to record would be consistent with him going home, with him keep going, as you hear on the video.
No, sir. My understanding was that he put the phone down so he could have both hands to steer his vehicle Then he had it turned around, and then he picks up the phone once he sees Mr. Arbery. He doesn't turn it off.
Okay. Where in Mr. Bryan's statement to Mr. Sechrist, Agent Sechrist, does he say that?
Say which part, sir? That's my understanding
Oh.
of taking his thing with it.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay. So, when the video comes back on, Mr. Bryan is headed back the other direction.
That's correct, yes, sir.
Now, you've listened to the video. How many
Yes.
times now?
I couldn't count a lot.
Probably more than you'd like to.
Very much so, sir.
Okay. What kind of truck does Mr. Bryan drive?
Give me a second, let me review my notes with it, sir. I believe he drives a Chevrolet vehicle, but I'd have to check the case file to find out.
Now, that year, that model comes with 3 different engines.
I don't know, sir.
Do you know whether Mr. Bryan's got the souped up version or if he's got the basic version?
I do not know that, sir.
Okay. Well, do you know whether it's an automatic or whether it's a manual?
I'd have to review back the case file. I don't recall offhand.
Well, can you count the number of shift changes, gear changes that Mr. Bryan is making in the video?
I have not tried to count the number of gear changes or shift changes that he's made in the video, no, sir.
Because that would tell you how many times Mr. Bryan could be turning around, wouldn't it?
Not necessarily, it would tell you how many times he changed gears.
Well, you can tell when you put a car in park, don't you?
It depends on the car, sir. I can't say I've ever taken any kind of stock of the sound of a car being put in park.
So you basically, you can't tell from listening to that video that your explanation of Mr. Bryan's path of travel is incorrect.
That's incorrect? No, sir. My take of the video is that that's the path of travel. I believe it is correct.
Okay. And the video picks up, where does the video picks up here immediately when he turns around?
Shortly after he turns around, the video picks up very quickly after he turns around at the 3-point. That's the reason why you see that mailbox to the left. That's when the video picks up. And then the video is up as he travels, and then you'll see Mr. Arbery by the blue mailbox, which is on towards the curve.
Well, you'd agree if Mr. Bryan continues traveling in the opposite direction from Mr. Arbery, at that point he's given up the chase.
If he would have turned and went down Zellwood, hypothetically, would that mean he'd given up the chase? Yes, sir. But he didn't. He turned and went back towards Mr. Arbery.
Well, we know he turned around.
Yes, sir.
And
we
at
do.
that point, he's videoing the path that he's on. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
It's the best, clearest quality video we have on this occasion. It's the only one.
Of the shooting you're talking
Yeah.
about? Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's the only video I
Consistent.
know.
And that would be consistent with someone who at this point in time is simply trying to observe the events.
No, I wouldn't say that, sir. No, sir.
It wouldn't be consistent with Mr. Bryan trying to be a witness to whatever is about to happen.
Sir, I don't believe he was just a witness in what happened. So,
Well, I'm not asking you what you believe.
Well, you asked me if it would be consistent, so the answer is
Yes.
no, because he wasn't a witness, therefore videotaping. I don't understand your question.
Okay. If Mr. Bryan, having abandoned the pursuit of Mr. Arbery, had decided he wanted to record what was happening, and he turns around to do that, the video, the last part of that video is consistent with that.
It would be consistent with that, or consistent with the fact that he was still pursuing Mr. Arbery, trying to box him in between two different vehicles.
And a jury will have to decide what Mr. Bryan's intentions were at that time. Am I correct?
My understanding is that's their role, yes, sir.
Certainly not your role or mine.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Bryan comes back down, you know what? Start the footage again.
Which one?
Back down the road. No, I take that back. Can you switch to the video?
B video?
The video.
Is it this one, the 190 Bryan Cellphone video?
Yeah, you can try that.
Move fast, Miss Burton, no pressure.
There we go. I'm gonna restart that.
Keep going, you're good.
You know what? I'm gonna keep going.
Stop. That's the K-turn, isn't it?
No, sir, it was back there where you could hear the gravel.
Well, then where's this turn?
I didn't hear a turn, sir.
Well, why are we shifting gears twice at that point?
I don't know if you, I have no idea,
Okay.
sir. I'm
All right.
telling you, that's not my understanding
Go ahead.
of where the turn is. You hear the gravel earlier in the
All right,
video.
fair enough. I don't want to argue with you. I'm sorry. If I came across the way, my apologies. You can start the video again. Stop. This camera angle, is it looking directly at Mr. Arbery in the truck?
No, sir, it's not.
It's looking to the right?
That's correct, yes, sir.
To the right would be Mr. Arbery's path of escape, would it not?
Could be, yes, sir.
Other than the fact that Mr. Albenzi might or might not be waiting down the street. That's the path out of the neighborhood, is
That
it
is the
not?
path down Satilla Drive, yes, sir. That is
Right.
one path outside the neighborhood, yes, sir.
What would be the other path?
Back to Zellwood, going back up.
Okay. From where Mr. Arbery is positioned out there at the end of Holmes, what's the shorter way for him to get out in the neighborhood?
You'll be going up Satilla Drive.
Okay. And so does it surprise you that Mr. Bryan's got his cell phone pointed that direction as if he's expecting Mr. Arbery to run across the lawn?
That's not how I would interpret that, Counselor.
Fair enough. Go ahead. Stop. Mr. Arbery's moved to the right of the pickup truck
Yes, sir, he will be
immediately
going there.
prior
Yes,
to
sir.
stopping the video. And again, Mr. Bryan's cell phone is pointed at just to the right of the intersection of Holmes and Satilla, correct?
That's the way it's facing at this point, yes, sir, but the camera is drifting around quite a bit. My interpretation is not that it's being pointed in that direction, more so than it's somebody trying to operate a vehicle and hold a phone at the same time. It bounces quite a bit.
Well, we can agree that Mr. Bryan's not winning any awards here for cinematography, correct?
It's bouncing around quite a bit, yes, sir.
But again, Mr. Bryan's got his cell phone pointed to the right, to the exit path, the escape path for Mr. Arbery.
At this instance, yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead. Stop. So again, Mr. Bryan is trying to follow Mr. Arbery's path of travel.
He is that, yes, sir.
So when Mr. Arbery, instead of going to the right to go out of the neighborhood, turns left and towards Mr. McMichael, then Mr. Bryan pivots his camera the other direction.
Again, my interpretation is he's trying to keep the camera on Mr. Arbery, but trying to operate a vehicle, it's drifting around quite a bit. That's my interpretation of it.
All right. And we can agree we'll let the jury decide what Mr. Bryan's intentions were.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I have no further questions. You've been great.